Obviously, I thought our guys played well in the second half. I was disappointed with the way we played in the first half. I think they started off the game 8 of 10 from the field goal. And I just think that we didn't have the mentality that we were going to come in and grind. I thought they saw the record and the name and just thought it's kind of like add water and stir and blow out wind. And that's not who we are, and I don't think that's who we're going to be. We got to have a mentality of grinding it out. I thought we got too consumed with our offense, what zone they were in, if they were in a 2-3 or 3-2 or 1-2-2, or whether they're in switching man-to-man matchup. And it really doesn't matter if you're getting stops. And I think you saw in the second half, when we got stops on the defensive end, it really didn't matter what they were in because we were able to run out and transition and get some easy opportunities, but attack. And so I think that's what we have to do. I thought Trevontae Bloodman came in and really gave us a good lift. I thought Rockwez Johnson played with a lot of energy. We have to do a better job of getting Gavin where it touches. I don't care what the other team was in, whether it be zone or man. He was 4-4 from the field. I think that's 100%. I'm not a math genius, but I think that's pretty good percentage from the field. So we got to make sure that we get the ball to him in those situations. But overall, in the second half, I was pleased with our performance. But our first half, we got to do a better job. And we only turned the ball over 12 times. And if you eliminate the shot clock violation at the end of the game, it's really only 11 turnovers. So it's a learning experience. We got to make sure our guys have a grinded out mentality, though, when it's all said and done from the beginning of the game.
Do you have any update on IJ?
No, sir. Well, I haven't even talked to Scotty yet, and I won't know anything probably until tomorrow.
Fred's first game tonight had a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Obviously, Fred's a talent. I think he's got to do a better job of finishing at the rim because everybody's going to play him as a shooter and make him close out to him and try to take away his shot. So when those opportunities happen, he's got all this strength and weight added to him now, so he's got to do a better job of finishing at the rim for us. But, you know, Fred's a talented kid. He's always going to have some opportunity to score the basketball, but we got to keep making sure Fred understands that he's much more than just a shooter. He can do so many other things. He's a good passer. He can be a good defender. So he can't put his head down if he doesn't have some good attempts or a shot doesn't go down. And I think he's starting to grow and mature from that fact.
I know it wasn't much, but was it good to get Jacoby out there and get this first game jitters out of the way?
Yeah, we really didn't expect him to play today, and I got notice from Scotty that he said he wanted to give him a try because he had been doing some 5-on-0 things last week, and he progressed to 5-on-5 things this week, and he had no setbacks, no swelling, no irritation or anything like that. And so I sat down and I talked with Jacoby today after Scotty and those guys cleared him. I said there's a difference between they're saying you're ready to go and you're being ready to go. So, and that's not just physically, but it's also mentally. So I wanted to make sure, like, is your knee feeling good? Do you feel like you can actually go out and play without getting too winded? Because obviously he's probably not in shape. And then from the mental aspect, do you know what Kennesaw State is doing, what the game report is, what the scouting report? And then also, are you bought in what we're doing at this point in time? So he's been on the sidelines for a long time, so I wanted to make sure both his body and mind was right before we just threw him out there to the wolves.
Speaking of that mental aspect, how big was it just to have him go out there and be physical, too, and not really worry about the knee, diving on the ground for the ball, and he got the assist on the first possession?
Yeah, I think anybody you talk to about guys recovering from an ACL injury, it's not just to actual recover from the physical standpoint, but those guys getting over that hurdle that, hey, that I can dive for a loose ball, I can jump off of one leg, I can do some of these things as far as like cutting and moving. And so I think he's getting past that. Now, if he's all the way past it or not, I don't know. Only Jacoby truly knows the answer to that. But he's playing like he's not worried about his knee at this point in time.
What would you like out of IJ when he goes on the floor? I mean, do you have to worry about him maybe being too unselfish, if that's possible?
Yeah, well, I think he had 6 assists and maybe only 1 turnover, so, I mean, that's a really good ratio. The thing I want him to do is I think a lot of times that no one is stopping him on his penetration or come off a ball screen. I think he settles for passing the ball until I think we fouled out a lot of their bigs. We got to continue to put pressure on those bigs by continuing to attack, and I think sometimes IJ turns down opportunities to attack. And he's got to understand he doesn't always have to attack to score, but he can just attack to draw the defense and find other people because he has such good vision.
talked about Javante, and I think it was that little spurt where he and Gavin, I think, scored 10 points and kind of really took the game to a different level. What did they kind of do that allowed you guys to pull away?
Well, first of all, like, Trevante always plays with kind of a hard hat mentality. You know, he's going to come in, he's going to give you energy, he's going to play hard. Now you can see that he's gotten better offensively. And so he used to have those same opportunities last year where he'd get a steal or he'd tip a ball loose and we'd have advantage basketball, whether it be 3-on-2 or 2-on-1, and he'd make the wrong decision or not finish or get fouled and not go to the free throw line and miss shots. But I think now he's grown as an offensive basketball player, so now we have advantage basketball. He's making the right decision and getting to the rim and finishing some, making the right passes. So I think the big thing with him, he's always going to be an energy guy, especially on the defensive end, but now he's grown as a basketball player where he can actually score off advantage basketball.
Did you feel like Gavin was not getting touches, or did you feel like Gavin wasn't getting position to have an open look for a touch? Did you feel like Gavin was kind of standing there and just not getting the ball?
I think it's both. I think in a zone what happens is you try to go to open spots, and that's not going to be successful against the zone because the guys that have the basketball on the perimeter, Gavin thinks he's open, but there's bodies around him, so those guys don't feel good about throwing the ball into the post. When another team is playing zone, he has to go find a body to make sure those guys on the perimeter feel good about throwing him the ball. So I think it's twofold. It's one, that's I don't think we look down enough, and I've talked to our guys about that. Every time you catch the basketball, I think we look out too much. The out will always be there. The down is only going to be open for a split second, and so we got to do a better job of looking down than out.